48% of women compare themselves to images they see on social media, and more than half say this negatively affects their self-esteem. Now, you're probably guessing we're talking about body image today, but how many of you guys have actually been impacted by what you're telling yourself when you look in the mirror?
No, it's never been the right time. Like we're holding back the storyline. And I'm waiting at the end of the night, thinking of you.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Call Your Mom podcast. If you're a woman, you've probably experienced it ever since you were a little girl. You've probably had some sort of body image issue, even if it was your friend had curly hair and you had straight hair and you wanted the curly hair. It's just kind of something that has happened and we've experienced, but why are we our own worst critics? Well, Sierra and Holly are here to give you practical advice on how you can conquer and be your best and fight that self-esteem off, because we're here to live our dreams and not talk negatively about ourselves. So let's dive in. Mom, how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling great. 9 out of 10. I feel so good about myself. I've been working out every day, eating healthy. I've been putting on my gradual tanner, so that's super helpful too. I really like when I have a little glow. But yeah, I would say 9 out of 10. I'm feeling good. Feeling good today.
Love it. I am feeling sicky poo, so I'm glad one of us is feeling 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I have a sinus infection. You guys probably can hear it. And it's just all the congestion here. And when you have that, you're not your favorite person. But I'm showing up.
Yeah. And you still look cute. You still look good.
Thank you. That's why I have a cozy blanket on.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you would have asked me a week ago, I was feeling great. I was with my friends. We're taking fun photos. Also, I was feeling good. I was feeling good about myself.
Yeah. And not every week, I feel like sometimes it's day to day. Like sometimes if you would have asked me maybe a few days ago, I would have been like, nah, I'm feeling all right. Like,
no, 100%, especially as a woman, because our cycle, it gets to us.
Yeah. It's just,
I think it's the luteal phase.
Oh, yes. Is that when you feel down?
We're women and don't understand ourselves. Wow. I know when you're ovulating, you're at your peak moment.
Yes.
You're like sponge glass.
That's when you look the most amazing.
Yes. Did anyone else watch SpongeBob? Got my SpongeBob reference?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just dive in. Why are we so hard on ourselves? So when it comes to body image, when it comes to all this fun stuff, why are we our own worst enemies? We're like enemy number one to ourselves. Looking in that mirror and I'm like, I don't like the cellulite. I don't like these stretch marks. My boobs are sagging and my eyes are tired and I got dark eyes. Why do we do this to ourselves?
I feel like when you're talking right now, I feel like this is something that's been going on since probably the beginning of time, but like mostly I think about when I was a kid and I didn't have like the internet, but we had magazines and, people would always say, oh, the models are airbrushed, Photoshop. Like it wasn't done. I don't even know how it was done back then, but they airbrushed them. So everybody was perfect, So on paper, through a magazine, I saw what your generation and the younger generations, and even now my generation, are seeing on the internet, on social media all the time. You're seeing that perfection. And I think it's really hard to look in the mirror and see the reality of just being human, that gravity takes over, that we do get cellulite, that I get gray hair sometimes. Like, I think it's hard to process it because of how we're so inundated with perfection all around us via TV, social media. If you still look at magazines, through magazines,
Now AI.
Yes. So it's like a constant, barrage of perfection. And so it's really hard to look at yourself and be like, wow, I look good. I feel good about myself today,
But it is true. It's hard to look at social media because it is very curated. And I know if you're a girly girl like me, you look at all the makeup and you look at all the hair stuff and the fashion. And it's very hard not to compare yourself because it's like, oh, I could never wear that. I have too large of boobs, or I could never wear that. My stomach's too big, So it's really hard not to compare yourself. And I think it's even harder for this generation than a generation ago because of social media because
Totally.
now you can edit your videos. You can like literally you can edit your videos so you look skinnier or get rid of acne, or now AI is making perfect humans. So like there's AI girls. Like so it's very hard to live and see and be it's not even you're expected to be perfect, but like in your head you want to be. You want to
Yeah.
look a certain way, you want to be a part of the trends. You want to feel like you're included in that.
Yeah. Well, and we're constantly being sold products and, treatments to improve ourselves, to make ourselves better. So we're constantly being told that we need to be better. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against any of it. I mean, I get Botox, let's okay. But it's a constant selling of, you need this, you need that. This is how you're going to look better. I was just looking at this lady that does lip filler on social media, and then it made me start looking at my own lips, and I'm like, I'm fine. Like, knock it
Yeah.
off. And it's just that we're constantly being sold this idea that there's more, that we can be better and look better. And I think it just makes it really difficult to kind of accept what's in front of us, and to work with what, we got.
Oh yeah, we're constantly being sold based off of our insecurities.
Yes.
There's a new cream for your cellulite, then
Yes.
there's under eye cream for this and acne cream for that. And yes, it is to help because those are real insecurities and there are things that I can help with. But you're right, it's a constant thing on trying to be better, be
Mhm.
this, including like filters and things like that on social media. And what trends are what? I mean, I think at one point we were all about like the super curvy body, and it was like Kim Kardashian was in at their big
Yes.
butt. And now we're back to like almost it feels like a heroin chic kind of skinny where it's super, super skinny and it's very hard to achieve those results. And I think that feeds into like Ozempic and things like that,
Yeah.
which is another thing on top of everything that sells again to improve who you are. And it does help people, but also it's like another thing to make you feel, that you aren't enough.
Yeah. When
So, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, being really thin has it came back. So I think it was like the 60s. There was a model called Twiggy, and she was like a rail. And then in the 90s, Kate Moss, so that would have been my teenage years, was huge. And she was so skinny, like heroin
Yeah.
chic, just like you talked about. And I remember thinking that's how my body was supposed to look. But as a kid, like I'm a teenager, and I could never achieve that though because I was just built curvy. That's just the way
Yeah.
I'm built. And
Yeah.
so, even back then, that whole like be skinny, extra, extra skinny to, look good was in. And now I see it come back. It's coming back. And it just feels like an impossible achievement. So then I feel like as women, we're looking in the mirror and we're just feeling like we can't measure up.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be with your weight. It could be with
Mhm.
wrinkles, your
Mhm.
hair, any of the above, your teeth not being white enough, your teeth not being straight enough. Really, any of it could really impact you.
Mhm.
Now, I know for me, I've had moments in my life where like my negative body image has held me back from things. And I've had to like learn to push through it to get to the other side to then be like, no one cares. And if you know anything about me, I'm really a person that like no one cares or I'm not going to do something. But mom, for you, has there been a specific time you can think of that you were like, yeah, this really held me back. Like I really was not comfortable in my own skin and I didn't know what to do.
I feel like that's happened to me when I was younger. I felt like, I didn't want to wear a bathing suit. It's so funny. It's so true. When you look back in your, 20s at your teens, you were like, wow, I was cute. You look back in your 30s at your 20s, and then you look back at your 40s and your 30s, you're just like, what the heck? What was I complaining about? But I when I was younger, there were times where, I didn't want to wear a bathing suit, or I just felt so like insecure and uncomfortable that I couldn't even enjoy being at the beach, or being on vacation by the pool because I was constantly looking around feeling like, oh, people are probably looking at me, or, and then even up to most recently, like I said, I feel like our confidence in who, what we look like ebbs and flows. But recently, I think just showing up on camera, I've been working out for like, I don't know, almost 5 months now. And, I think I was heavier than I've been in a long time, and my body just didn't feel good. So, as far as just, let's set aside looks, I just didn't even feel good. And so I started exercising and stuff. But instead of letting my weight or how I thought I looked keep me from showing up and doing something that I want to do and pursue, I just pushed through it and was like, it is what it is, people. and
Mm.
and also I was like, you know what, it's okay. But I have had those moments where I'm like, no, I don't want to take a picture, or put me in the back, or don't post that, my arm looks, I have flat arm, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm stopping myself from enjoying memories and moments. Because why? Because I don't look a certain, like, perfect in a photo. Like, who cares at this point? Enjoy. I want to enjoy my life. But yes, absolutely. So I 100% have had that happen.
No, I agree. I think especially showing up on camera or the expectations of what beauty should look like is so hard. I know for me, like specifically with social media, like I went to South Africa, I think 2019, so 6 years ago, and I had like pictures of me next to all the penguins in a bikini. And like literally, I think it was like March, they popped up as a memory. And I was like, I didn't want to post a photo because I had some back fat because of the angle I was on. And I was like, God, I wish I would have posted this photo.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like 10 pounds heavier. And I'm like, wow.
But it's
But I was so scared at the point at that time. And I was like, why? Why was I so scared? And you look back as you're like, these are so amazing. I got to go to Africa. Like the next time I'm going to Africa, I have no idea.
yeah.
And you like stop yourself because you're so scared. And the truth is no one else is thinking about it except for you. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever like, I have a question for the audience. Have you ever gone to a pool and like think about it? You remember who was skinny and who was like big and who was had wrinkles and who didn't? No, you probably
Mhm.
remember the smell of the chlorine, the drinks you were cheersing with, your chicky nuggies or your diet coke. You weren't really worried about what everyone else was thinking or
Yeah.
wearing or doing. You're worried
You were
about your chicky
busy.
nuggies and the pool.
Yeah. And you were busy making memories. And that's what
Yes.
I think ends up happening is we allow how we look to stop us from making memories and living, like truly living. And it's so unfortunate. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like we feel this pressure to look a certain way when in reality, if you really stop and look around, most people don't look like anybody on social media.
They don't. And even I think social media is getting more and more like
Hmm.
inclusive, if that makes sense.
Yes, love it.
And there's kind of like a little everything. Like I think there's a grandma. I don't know if you've seen her, but she's really old. And she's like, this is what I'm wearing today.
Do you like my outfit today? I don't care if you like it or not, but I love it. Cheers to being single. Yes, this is vodka. So what? I'm thirsty.
All the
love her.
haters. And she's like 90 something years old and has like 2 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
She literally is like, this is my outfit. This is my makeup. Literally, one, that tells you two stories here. It's never too late to start.
Mhm.
Two, who cares? Do it anyway.
Yeah. You know,
Because no matter what you look like.
yeah. I was going to say it's that saying, right? The prettiest girls are happy, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's she's happy. That's what makes her beautiful. That's what makes everyone attracted to her, and
Yeah.
that's why they want to watch her, because they feel empowered by her joy and her zest for life. And it's like,
100%.
We should aspire to that.
Literally. Honestly, you should aspire. And think about how many times you've let your body image stop you, even if it's not creating content online. Maybe it's insecurity walking into your office, right? And you cover yourself up a certain way. Or maybe it's, I have no idea, being afraid to step up and give a speech somewhere. There's certain things that like our looks stop us, or creating memories on the beach with your kids.
Mhm.
You didn't want to get in a bathing suit. And so little things like that just completely stop and alter your life. And one thing I do want to highlight is it's also like, it's okay if you do want to change things about yourself, right? Like if you would like to work out to feel stronger, do it. You know what I mean? Just, you don't have to accept also like, oh, this is who I am. You can also fight for your health. So there's also the other flip side of things on that end too. Like if you're like sitting here and like me as a great example, or my mom's a great example. We both are like, we want to get healthy. We want to feel stronger. It's not just about the weight falling off. It's about actually feeling strong and what I want in the next 10, 15, 20 years
Mm-hmm.
to look like if when I walk up a flight of stairs. It also comes with the bonus of getting toned and all of that, but it's also about that feeling on the other side of things. So if you do want to change something about yourself, that's okay as well.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% support women doing whatever makes them feel beautiful. I mean, if you need a nose job, you want to get a nose job, get a nose job. I follow a doctor who fixes women's like under eyes. Incredible job. Oh my gosh. He's my someday. I'm not going to lie, friends. I'm going to go visit that surgeon when I get older. He's amazing. These women come out so happy. They feel so good about themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as it's just coming from a space within you that's not trying to do it for someone else or thinking, if I change myself, my whole world will change. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So I think it's important to remember, like, where is this coming from? Why am I trying to do this? And if it's for
Yeah.
you and you are going to feel good, like, I think go for it. I'm all about it. So
when I want to like break free from the mirror trap, because you get in the mirror and
Yeah.
you're like, this is everything that's wrong with me. You start
Mhm.
labeling it. You get in front, like literally, I could picture it right now. I get in front of a mirror, and I have my jeans on and my shirt on, and I'm feeling insecure about myself. And I start labeling everything from head to toe wrong with me. I'm like, oh, I have to contour my chin more because, I'm insecure about my chin. And then I get to my belly and I'm like, this shirt, these jeans are cutting into my belly. And, maybe my arms, they feel bigger than they are. And I don't like how they look. So I'm going to go put on a long sleeve and, I'm whatever it may be, we get into the mirror. So what does it mean to break free out of that first? Before we get into how to do it, what is it for you, Mom, that it feels like to break free from that?
When I break free of negative self-talk, when I look in the mirror, it means that I am filled with joy and living in the present. I'm not trying to change anything in the moment. I'm not trying to, be anyone else. I just am being present with me and appreciating who I am and what I have to work with in the moment. And it allows me the freedom to be able to enjoy my life. I think that is the biggest takeaway. When I break free from the negative self-talk in the mirror, it allows me to enjoy my life and it allows me to be a better person for everyone around me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I like the
What about
free.
you?
I was going to say empowered
I love that.
because I feel empowered to be bold in my life without the hesitation of my insecurities.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
You allow your insecurities to stop you from living. So that could be having a drink with your friends, eating that chicken nugget with the appetizer with your friends. Maybe it's the beach and putting on a bathing suit and just wanting to wear the cover up the whole time and not wanting to jump and dive into the water and feel the ocean on your skin. Or maybe it's a speech you need to give that's going to impact thousands of people, but you're so scared to get up and tell your story and share your voice because of the way you look. All of these circumstances all stem from inner things in us and these insecurities that are just really lies.
Yes.
Just lies.
Yeah.
Because really in the end, no one cares. It's only you, and you can make an impact on your kids, on your family, on other people if you could push past that.
Yeah.
And dive right in.
And you don't want to miss out. Like,
no,
we don't want to miss out on life and on making memories and building your dreams and trying new things because we're so worried about wearing a pair of shorts. It just, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter in 5 years from now, but it'll matter on the day that you miss out on making those memories. It'll matter that day because you're going to be sitting around wishing you would have just went or you would have tried or you would have taken action.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that's the biggest thing is we are so self-conscious. I always talk about, like, it's funny. I've had people say like, well, I don't want to go to the gym until I lose weight. And I always kind of crack up because I'm like, well, that's kind of what the gym is for. And the
Yeah.
truth of the matter is when you walk into the gym, I walked in almost 15 pounds heavier a couple months ago. People are there cheering you on. No one's there judging you, which is I love the gym. And as a matter of fact, if you ask people for help there, they're more than happy to help you. And I actually just had someone come up to me that I haven't seen in 2 months. And he's an older gentleman. And he was like, I haven't seen you for a few months, but you're looking good. You've lost weight. And, that is the environment. That's, what the gym is. And I always feel like people are missing out, when they are afraid, because not only are you going to get your health, you're going to get encouragement and you're going to meet people, because there's a lot of really cool people at the gym, And so I think that's one of the most important things, is to remember, like, you're missing out on life when you let your body image stop you from living.
Okay, I have one that's my mom's gonna go la 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 la.
Okay.
Your body image, and I'm sure other women can affect this in the bedroom. Like, if you think about it, when your husband, I think about this with Johnny, like, I don't want him to hold my stomach a certain way. Like, I totally have said that to him before. Like, probably when we're dating, like when he's hugging me, laying down, he's hugging me. Now, obviously, I don't care. I've gained weight and lost weight with Johnny, and he loves me at any point in my whole entire life. I'll tell you that. But it'd be like scared. Like, I don't want to like I'll be even look in the mirror. We're getting dressed for a date night, and he's looking at me. Nothing fits me. And this poor man, the fear in his eyes is like, what do I say? Oh no! And he's like a golden retriever. But we let that affect us to enjoy our time with our spouse, right?
Mhm.
Like, don't allow body image to stop you, because guess what? If you really are serious about your wedding vows, you signed up for life. And one day they're gonna be, no, it's not going to be a 20-year-old butt you're looking at. It's going to be an 80-year-old old wrinkly butt you're going to be looking at. You got to that's part of life.
Yes.
Are you going to stop living with your spouse and stop living with things? No, you're not. So don't allow that. And especially because you're going to have to give birth. I think about that with birth. Be in the room when I'm giving a baby, and that's traumatizing too, but you just got to push through. Hey, you wanted real talk, and this is real talk, okay?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've done it 3 times.
Yes, and like, it's scary. Like, it's like that quote from that movie Eat, Love, Pray, where she's like, has a man ever looked at you when you took off of your clothes and ran away? Just eat the pizza thing.
Yeah.
It's literally like, enjoy your time. Like, it's the other day, this is a great example, everyone. This is nothing to this is not what you think. This is not what you think. The other day, Donnie was like, I want to go out and celebrate, because he had a really good outing, and we're like, okay, we've not been having great outings. We're going to celebrate. And I was like, oh, I want to eat healthy. I've been feeling blah about myself. And my husband loves his fried chicken. Mom, you know this about him.
Oh, I know.
And he goes, I want to go to Cane's. And I'm like, ugh, I feel so not happy about myself, but I'm going to go because I love him. And we had the best time. We went and got Cane's. We went to Dave and Buster's. We laughed. We came home and watched a movie. It was like the best date night we've had in a long time. And it made me tear up a little bit, because if I would have allowed my body image in that moment of me not feeling like, I was already feeling bloated, I was not feeling good, stop me from celebrating with him, like, tomorrow I can get back to healthy eating. You know what I mean? It's not like I was eating unhealthy all day either, And so if I would have let that stop me, it wouldn't have been a good time. So don't allow your body image to stop you from connecting with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a PG version of what I was trying to say. But what I was trying to say earlier with PG-13 in our version was, girlies, don't just embrace your body, and you be your beautiful, bold self with your spouse.
I love it. I love it.
That's my R-rated version.
Yeah. He thinks you're sexy no matter what. So I have a question for you about social media. So has there ever been a time when you were scrolling and it made you feel insecure? Or, do you have a story about that, or an example?
I guess it's like a general thing. I'm not really like, I have to think about this. I'm not really like a look at myself and compare myself kind of gal. I would just say, like, not I would say on the flip side of things of like taking photos or anything and being like, oh, I'm not sexy enough. I wouldn't say I'm scrolling through and being like, wow, that girl's pretty. I'm not really that way. I would be more of like, oh, I'm trying to take photos or be a certain way or do something way. And then I want to post it on social media.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, that's not like cute. And like I get insecure about myself because I'm
Mhm.
not like a super sexy girl, or I'm not like 90% of the time, like I'm like
Yeah.
very
Same.
happy and I have
Yeah.
a big smile on my face. And then when I try to do the very sexy stuff, it just doesn't apply.
Mhm.
Like the way I feel like I look brighter and more sparkly with smileys. So I
Mhm.
would say that would be like my experience with social media of like, but when I'm looking or scrolling, I'm
Mhm.
not that insecure that way. Unless
Okay.
I'm like trying to buy clothes. That's when
Yeah.
that's actually would be a good one. When I'm trying to buy clothes and I'm scrolling on the clothes. I don't know if anyone has experienced. You're going through Free People and you're like, wow, these are all very skinny girls with no boobs.
Mhm.
And they're beautiful. But you're like, I don't know how this is going to fit me. How
Yeah.
is this going to fit me? What am I going to wear? And so and then I buy a large and then I'm like, oh no, I need a medium. And then, oh no, I need a small. Like I did that at Stagecoach. Remember, Mom?
Yeah.
With Stagecoach outfits.
Yes.
I went to you. That guy knew me by the end I was done because I went to
Yeah.
UPS so many times.
Oh, I know.
So
You were like,
I've been personally victimized by shopping online.
yes, as I think we all have, which I love that now there's different. I mean, I don't know about Free People. I can't remember. I don't think so, but a lot of them
No.
have like different size models, which I love because then
Yes.
you can kind of like, put your body type up and see what it would look like. And I think that's so helpful with shopping. So
Especially with
helpful.
the girlies that don't have that have boobs.
Yes.
Because then when I put a model that has boobs up, I'm like, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
This will look this way on me.
Yeah.
When they don't have boobs, that's like a whole different department of hard to
Yeah.
figure out.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
What about you? Have you experienced like doom scrolling on social media and then feeling like insecure about yourself?
You know what? Yeah, I actually have. Especially as I've gotten older, I think that with celebrities getting like full on, like, I think me and Lindsay Lohan are almost the same age. And I think what is it? Kate Beckinsale. She's another one. She's, I think, a little older than me. Not much
She's
though.
50.
Yeah.
I think Anne Hathaway is the closest one you actually.
Okay. And Anne Hathaway, I don't know what that girl's doing, but wow, she looks incredible. All of them do.
Anne Hathaway's 42.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think it's hard to age with grace. I think that is one of the hardest things to do. And I think sometimes I've caught myself scrolling and, I'm being advertised, like I said, constantly like stuff for my face, stuff for my skin, and, look younger, look younger. And it's made me sometimes question, do I not look good enough? Do I need to do this? Should I buy that? And so seeing these celebrities or seeing some of these people that, Photoshop, I don't know about celebrities. I know they get like really awesome plastic surgery, but, other women, I see as I scroll, they do, filters or, they Photoshop or whatever. And, or they have really good lighting because, that helps a lot. And I think it's just such a distorted reality that it's super hard not to be like, oh, maybe I'm not that, like, maybe I need to change something, or do something. So I have experienced that recently, and it's all about like aging with grace. And where what I did was I just like stepped away, and I said, you know what? I'm changing my algorithm for right now. This isn't making me feel good. And that's something that I've been really in tune to with myself is it making me feel empowered and is it making me feel good? And then, after I do some work, I've gone back, like I scroll now and I'm like, wow, she's beautiful. And that's one thing I find. The more we empower other women, it empowers us and it makes us feel more secure. And
I love
so
that.
we have to remember that a lot of times our insecurity is just because we're afraid to say, you know what? That woman does look good. She looks gorgeous, because we think that maybe it's dulling our shine, but when in fact it's not, and
Yeah.
so it just makes you feel more confident,
Yeah. Maybe that's why I don't feel, because you've always taught me that. Like,
Mhm.
I've always been one to just be like, wow, you're amazing.
Yeah.
And so I don't really feel that way. Like I said, I think I'm on the flip side of like not feeling good enough to be able to be like post a certain way or to
Yeah.
pose a certain way. Like that would be a lot of my body image insecurities is like
Mhm.
not being good enough on social media.
So something crazy I read on line that I thought was interesting is that women in their late 20s and these feel like they're getting old and are afraid of like aging. And I thought social media has to have played a role in that because when I was in my 20s and 30s, that's not even something that even crossed my mind. So
Yeah.
is that something that you've thought about at all? Or do you think that, no, I'm just curious because I'm like, what? You guys are so young and just beautiful.
100%. I feel like there's a little bit of a pressure when you get into your late 20s of
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, the doom of 30 is coming. That's kind of what it feels like.
Mhm.
Like, am I not going to have everything that I thought I was supposed to have? But like, there's so much different like things than what I thought 30 was going to look like. And then if you think, I think the best perspective I ever got on this was the Friends perspective. Have you heard this, Mom? There's like show Friends.
I don't even know what you're going to say.
Okay,
I'll
so
let you know.
this Friends, the show on Friends, they all start in their late 20s. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it, but essentially it was talking about like you're only in this season of Friends. So like
Yeah.
at one point Rachel's freaking out, then by 30 I'll have to this, and I think that's like season 6.
Mm-hmm.
But that perspective really helped me because I was like,
Okay.
oh yeah, I still have time to not like figure it out, but to like it's okay, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to that and how I'm playing this to body image is like I think when I think about aging, I'm more worried about less of the look aspect because I think I see a lot of girls in their 30s just glow up. So I'm just waiting for my second puberty. Like,
Mm-hmm.
am I gonna like just turn 30 and just be like a beautiful goddess? Because I feel like some women do that. So I'm kind of hoping it happens to me.
I did.
Oh, that gives me hope.
And you look like your mama. Yeah. I felt like my 30s.
Is that funny to say that? But it does. I feel like women turn 30
True.
and they just become beautiful. And I feel like maybe I'm almost there.
I truly think when you get into your 30s, and I think for me, it was more my mid 30s, but you start to shed off a lot of like what people think and stuff like that. And you start to step more into yourself and who you are and your authentic version of yourself. And you discover kind of like you like yourself more. And
Yes.
I think that plays a huge role. But yeah, I think when you turn into your 30s, you start to age like fine wine.
You do. Yep. I was just looking up Friends, like the thing. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were in their late 20s and 30s when the show started.
Okay.
So like there's an episode I was watching the other day of Chandler. I think it was season 3. And he was like, I'm 28 years old. Or no, it was season 1 or 2. And he's like, I'm 28 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that's my age.
You're like, hold on.
But anyway, you make a good point. It's funny you say the 30 thing and the glow up because I think you're right. We do kind of get like you get more confident because I would say I've gotten just more confident as I've gotten older and less insecure.
Yeah.
And more okay with who I am. But mostly, I know this doesn't have to do with body image, but I've gotten mostly okay with who I am on the inside as I've gotten older.
But that has to do with body image, right? Because
Yes.
that carries on to how you see yourself on the outside. So I know that now you post more because you are more insecure on the inside. So your body image isn't as distorted as it used to be. And you're okay with posting. You know what I mean? Like there's more
Yes.
of a who cares mentality behind it. And you're beautiful. So,
Thanks,
you
Mom.
know, you're welcome, baby. But truly, I have noticed that about you. And there's been,
Thanks.
you know, you're starting that glow up. You know, you're like, oh, I can't wait till I'm 30, but you're starting it because you've already started that journey on the inside and it is reflecting on the outside when you are posting and buying clothes that you love and not trying to be, you know, I think that's another thing is we try to put ourselves in clothes that aren't meant for our bodies. And that distorts our body image as well. And you don't do that. And I think
I'm so
that's
glad you
something
said
do
that.
very well.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
glad you said that because, for a few years there, starting around 26, 25, I would be surrounded by people who were very trendy, very amazing, and fashionably. But it was very hard not to copy and be like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to be that, or maybe I'm supposed to be this, or maybe I'm supposed to act this way. And I get caught up in it and I kind of lose myself and be exhausted.
Mhm.
Versus in reality, like lately, I've just been wanting to do what I want to do, what I want to wear, what I think is fashionable versus what other people find fashionable. Like, what do I like? Going
Mhm.
into a store, it's so empowering to be like, no, this is what my body image is like. This is what, or this is what my body looks like. I know it, and this is what I'm going to buy. And then getting it and being like, oh my gosh. Versus before, I would go into a dressing room not knowing that and wanting just to fall into a trend, and then I'd be miserable in the dressing room.
Yeah. 100%.
This also incorporates with jeans,
Oh my God.
ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have jean sizes. I have 30s, I have
Mhm.
29s, I have 28s, and I have 27s. Every single pair of those jeans I just mentioned, and I will show them on Instagram if you would like me to, fit me currently right now.
Yeah. I remember
That's 5 sizes. 5
remember-
sizes.
we went to go try on jeans. So she went to try on jeans. We were at Nordstrom's, I'll never forget. And she got 2 or 3 pairs of the same exact jeans with the same exact size, tried all 3 on, and one of them was too big, one of them was too small, and one of them was just right. And they were all tagged the same exact
They were
size.
all size 28s.
Yes.
They were all the same exact jean, same
Yes.
exact color, same
Yeah.
exact cut, everything. It was just a manufacturer problem.
So I just feel like, with the size thing, it
Yes.
doesn't matter. Don't let size be your confidence. You know what I mean? Who cares about that? Like,
Seriously.
but
Okay, we got to end this. And I
Yes.
wanted to I want to end it with something really special
okay.
because I believe our community is a hype girl community. I
Yep.
truly believe it. And so you're looking at your best friend, but I want your best friend to be you. What advice are you giving her? Mom, I'll let you go first. What advice are you giving to your best friend? What are you saying to her to encourage her, to lift her up about her appearance? And you could picture your actual best friend. Like you could picture.
I'm telling her there's only one you and you only get one life. And don't miss out on living because you feel insecure about how you look. Because how you look is absolutely beautiful, especially on the inside, And I would tell her that at the end of the day, we all have imperfections. At the end of the day, we all have insecurities, and don't let those stop you from living the life that you deserve.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. And I would give her a big hug and I would tell her I love her and let's go have some fun.
I would say picture yourself 50 years from now, 60
Mhm.
years from now, 40 years from now, whatever you want to say. And actually, yeah, I would say picture yourself 50 years from now and you were looking back at this moment. You got the collagen in your face, you have the smile, you have the clothes fitting your perfect body, you have the energy to go out and have fun and do whatever it is. Don't allow the insecurity, the lie, stop you from living that out and being bold in whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's having fun with your friends, starting a podcast, building a business, giving birth to children, having sexy time with your husband, whatever it is, be bold in it and go have
Mhm.
fun and not
Yeah.
care. Because in 50 years, doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. And like in 50 years, if we put ourselves that far back, are we really going to be thinking about that moment that we, went out in shorts and had a great time and our cellulite was on our legs? No, we're
No,
just going to
you're gonna
remember
the
memory.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to remember the memory. And that's what matters is making those memories and having a lasting impact on the people we love and their lives. So, yeah.
Love it. Okay, so that's what we want to end with, guys. What would you tell your best friend in this moment? And we want to hear about it. Send this in a DM, guys, because we want to know what your answers are. And lastly, share this with a friend who needs a little encouragement in this area, because that's what you would do for your best friend. You would send them this podcast and say, girl, you need to hear this. You need to live it. Girl, you need to listen to this and start living. That's what I meant to say. And so send this to a friend. We appreciate it. And we know it's going to help someone out there. And it just makes you more of a friend, and even better friend. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this episode gave you something to think about, inspired you, or made you feel a little less alone. We hope you share this with a family member or a friend, because they definitely need it too.
And if you like what you heard, don't forget to follow and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen.
Let's get social. You can follow us on Instagram at callyourmom_podcast, on Facebook at callyourmompodcast, and on YouTube at Call Your Mom Podcast.
And if you're needing a little extra advice, you can always text MOM, M-O-M, to 833-569-4378. Follow the prompts, answer the questions, and then spill the tea.
And we might be answering your tea on next week's episode, so you're going to want to check it out. And remember, when life gets messy, overwhelming, or just straight up confusing, you can always
Call your mom.